What's up, guys? Meals here. So today is going to be a little bit of a rant, I would say. The New Orleans Pelicans just fired Willie Green, the head coach. I think it is justified. I don't blame Willie Green completely. Now, within the 4.5 seasons that he did coach this team, he was 150, his win total to 190, his loss total. But there's a lot of different factors to why this team was so bad. But in the beginning of the season, I do agree with getting rid of him just because the rotation ideas that he had, the players that he put on the floor at the same time together to play together, it didn't really mesh well. I think you definitely need a new coach to handle that and try and figure out a better situation for players. Like, I think Derek Queen, who we just picked up, the rookie, I think he should have played a lot more minutes way earlier instead of being on the bench. Now, trial and error. Granted, I give him that. But at the same time, I think it comes to a point when you're 2, as I'm making this video, the Pelicans are 2-11. When you're 2-11, I'm sorry, you got to go. So, Willie Green's gone. But I don't blame him completely. Gayle Benson, the owner of both the New Orleans Saints and the Pelicans. Now, again, if I didn't specify before, I'm going on this rant because I am a New Orleans native. I am a fan of both teams because that is where I am from. But Gayle Benson has a losing football team, a losing basketball team. The decision you decide to make was to hire executive vice president of basketball operations, Joe Dumars. That was your decision. Joe Dumars is a guy who hasn't won a championship as a president of basketball operations since 2004, the Detroit Pistons in 2004. That is almost 22 years ago. Ever since then, he was the GM for that Detroit Pistons team from 2000 to 2014. And ever since that 2004 season, they weren't winning championships. They weren't having good teams. Following that, he was the interim GM a little bit for the Kings. And we know how bad the Kings are. No shade, no disrespect, because we're bad. But the Kings are bad. Then when he decides to come to be the executive vice, the title I mentioned earlier. I don't have to explain it. But literally, him coming in and the first decision he decides to make is trade up 10 spots to get, yes, Derek Queen. But to do that, you get rid of our unprotected draft pick for next season. For next draft, I mean. For this next draft, if you don't know who is the top 3 picks, they're all 3 of them are potentially franchise changing. You have AJ DeBansta, Cameron Boozer, and Darren Peterson. Darren Peterson is arguably the number 1 pick in my eyes. You have special talents like that, and you decide to give that up to the Hawks. What are we doing? You gave away a future, a potential future. Now, I do believe this team can still be great because we have players like Trey Murphy. Jeremiah Fears has been playing very well as a point guard, and I see a bright future for him. Again, Derek Queen is one who I mentioned. Herb Jones potentially too. But other than that, a lot of these pieces are tradable. A lot of these pieces are tradable because they haven't been showing up. And that brings me to Zion. Almost the start of the NBA season. I believe Zion was going to come differently. I believed he was going to come in this season, be in shape. He was in shape. He looks in shape. He looked physically fit. But again, he deals with hamstring injuries. Now, some of it, injuries, sometimes you just get injuries. You can't blame injuries. You can't blame a person who just gets injuries. But at the same time, when he played in those 5 games that he played this season, in those 5 games, he wasn't playing nearly as good as he played last season. He was good. He wasn't superstar level. Not even close. I'm very disappointed. I really had my hopes up. 1, because I'm a fan again. But 2, I just believe this roster wasn't as bad as what's being advertised now. I didn't believe we would be a 2-11 team. And the fact that Gail Benson, again, hired one of the worst GMs, Joe Dumars, made that risky decision. And while I think Derek Queen is going to be a good player, I think you could have given something else to still get him. I don't think you had to give up an unprotected, possibly top 5 pick, top 3 pick. Like, you don't do that. And back to my point about Gail Benson. Gail Benson says she can't do any more. This was in NOLA News. She said this. She said she can't do any more. And what I found out, she is one of 2 NBA owners that didn't jump into the luxury tax. In this NBA, if you want to win games, you need to jump in the luxury tax. I'm sorry. I know you're trying to save money, but you shouldn't have become an NBA owner if you're trying to save money. The NBA is about the fans. It's not about you. It's not about you. I swear it isn't. So I don't know who told you what you signed up for, but what you signed up for was to bring us a winning franchise. And that you are not doing, Gail Benson. You are not doing that. So again, y'all let me know your thoughts. It's extremely, extremely frustrating to go through another building block of development. Like, I thought Zion coming in 2019, him being the number 1 pick, that draft being called the Zion Williamson draft. That's how special he was coming in. I thought him being the number 1 pick and having a bunch of good supporting role players around him would be a recipe for success, but obviously it's not. I hope Zion, honestly, I hope either we trade him or he asks for a trade, because I don't believe he should be a New Orleans Pelican, because obviously he doesn't want to be here. He doesn't. And I know he just got injured with a hamstring injury, but there's been so many incidents in the past that have accumulated with this frustration I'm feeling as a fan that I can't ignore. Like, you just don't want to play. And that's fine. So we need to trade him to get some value. There's a lot of pieces that I think we could trade as well. I would love to keep Trey Murphy. I would love to keep Jeremiah Fears, and I would love to keep Derek Queen. Herb Jones, I would love to keep him too, but we have to keep building. We have to figure out a way to build now, because Joe Dumars decided to get rid of our future, one of the best draft assets for next season. So again, y'all let me know y'all thoughts. I'm just extremely disappointed with this team, and I think we're just at the absolute bottom. So y'all subscribe, like the video, share with a friend, and until next time, I'll see y'all later. Milos out. Peace.